Hello and welcome back. It's Angela here again. Today we are going to do another little quick project that I'm hoping is going to inspire you to use in your journals. So you will have seen that I did a flip through of this recipe book, which I will be putting together a few tutorials on some of the aspects on how I put this together. So hang on and look out for that in the coming weeks. So hopefully I won't take too long to do that. But what I did want to do was show you how I put together this element over here. So I want to show you how I made this little pouch over here. So that's what I'm going to work on today. So I've made a couple of these over here, so you can see what I'm on about. And these make great additions for storage in a journal. So that's what they look like. They've got the bit of the concertina side like that, and plenty of storage room for things like recipes, photographs, and any other bit of ephemera that you might have. With this one, I've used a brad to secure this to the envelope itself. I've done that so that I can show you the alternatives for people who don't have a crocodile, and that's the process I will use today. On this one over here, I have used my crocodile and eyelets, so it's exactly the same pouch except just a different closure option, so that you're not stuck when you think, oh, I don't have that tool, that there are other ways to do this. And I like to bring you those ideas so that you can decide for yourself what you're able to do or what you would prefer if you have both. All right, so that's what we're going to have a look at today, and I love these. But to make life simpler for all of you, what I have actually done is I have put together a template kit for this. So I'm going to just turn it sideways so you can see fit in screen. I've put a template kit together for this that you're able to print out and use, and really it makes your life so quick and easy. You can whip this together in no time at all. So that's what I've done. Spent a lot of time working out the dimensions and everything for the right size. So you're able to print this out, as I said, either on cardstock, which gives it a little bit more thickness. You can print this out and put it onto old cereal boxes and cut around that so it's nice and robust. Use it on a clear acetate base so that you can see through it when you're placing it on your paper. The choices are yours, but by using a template, and you know I'm a fan of templates, this really makes all the measuring and takes all the stress out of it, and I'm going to show you how I go about using this today. All right, so on the one page you've got the base here, and I'll talk you through how I do that. On the second page we've got the top flap, and I've also put in a lining pouch because I like it to be robust and not tear. So we've got that. Then I've also included the next project that I'm going to do, and this is also part of that recipe journal, is how to put a little folio together. So I've got the pages for that as well. All right, so that is going to make life very easy for you, I'm sure. So if you're interested in using the templates, go and have a look in my shop and you'll find the link there to purchase these. All right, it's going to make your life so much easier. Right, what I've done is I have cut those all out. So I've just pulled aside the pieces we'll need for this project. So I've got the top flap, so the lid bit that closes. And you're going to cut out those. I've got the lining bit. We cut out 2 of those just to reinforce it and make it strong. And then this is the base of the pouch itself. And this is what you need to do that. This is going to make it so much easier because there is a lot of measuring involved with this, and you don't have to do that anymore. All right, so this is what I've done. I've printed mine on 160 GSM paper cardstock. I then went and took this and stuck it onto firmer card so that I can see all the fold lines and everything, but it's much easier to work around. All right, so that's what I have done, and I have cut out those pieces already. So for example, I've got the top flap, cut out in this beautiful paper from chapter 1, which I'll discuss in a minute. I've cut another one of these to line it on the inside, so that's going to end up being stuck down like that, and that lines the lid of your pouch. Then I've cut 2 lining pieces that are going to line the base and reinforce that, and then the last bit is the base piece of the pouch, and that looks like this. All right, and I'll show you which papers I've used in a minute. This is really going to be so easy. You're going to love putting this in your journal. Great to put into the front or the back covers, especially when you're wanting to store things, especially photographs or other pieces of ephemera that might be a little bit too big or bulky on one of your pages. All right, so great idea that. So I hope you're going to join me and follow along. Okay, so I'm going to just put those to the side quickly and show you the papers that I've used. Now, I've pulled together the papers that I've used for this project, but there are quite a few pages in this kit from chapter 1 papers. This is their latest kit called Antique Florals, and they're absolutely stunning in the French sort of theme, which I do love as well. All right, so I've taken this one here to cut out my top flap. So you can see I have done that just in the corner right there, because I thought that would be beautiful for a top flap. So I've got that one. I have then, just to put this one below, I've taken this lovely page and I've used this to cut out the base. So I've done that, or was it this side? I think it was this side. There we go. So that's the base. So I love that one. And that with this on the top is going to look gorgeous. So that's what I've done there. And then I have printed out 2 of the plainer pages because I thought these would make great lining pages. So the inside of the pouch, I've cut 2 of these from this. And then this one at the top, I've used this piece over here to cut out for the lining, which looks like antique canvas. It looks gorgeous with some French writing on the top there. All right, so that's what we've got to do. I will have the link below for you to have a look at this kit, and where it'll take you to chapter 1's Etsy store if you're interested, but you can do this with any kit that you choose. All right, so that's what we have today. So all that you're going to need to do now is put the folds in place and put this all together. So that's where we're going to start. So the first thing that I did is I want to fold this on the fold line. So if I point to the template, it's this line here. All right, we're just going to fold it along that line there. So this is easy because it's half and half. So we just want to go like that, match up the edges to the top. And somebody's mowing their lawn, so I hope that's not annoying. You know, that's just the rule of thumb, isn't it? Murphy's Law. The minute you want to record, then somebody decides that's a great time to do some gardening. Okay, so we've done that on the fold line there, and I'm going to open that up now, because now I can see really clearly where my lining pages need to go. Now I am not, you can put these together and fold it and do it like that, but I don't want to bulk up that fold. So what I'm doing is I want to stick these down like this. Now you'll see they're just slightly narrower than the edge there, which is on purpose for the concertina bits. Right, so what I want to do is the front is where these bits are going to be. All right, so that's your front like that. Now I'm able to see, right, I'm going to stick that one down there, and I'm going to stick that one down there like that. So let's do that quickly. Now, of course, you can use any glue you like. I will be just sewing a line across the top edge for decorative purposes and nothing more. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a space for that there. But please, don't be afraid to put liberal amounts of glue on depending on the glue, you know your glue, how strong it is, so you know that's up to yourself. All right, so I just want to stick this down like this, get to that, doesn't go straight to the edge here. There we go. Okay, and then we've got that all in place. So that's the back of our pouch. All right, so the only piece that I will end up stitching is just along there. Okay, then on this side, this is the front, so I'm going to stick this down here, and I will end up stitching along there. So I just put my thumb on that side so I remember not to go right to the edge with the glue. If you do, it's not a crisis, just remember to wipe the needle once you have completed your stitching, just to make sure you don't get any glue on your sewing machine itself. Right, it's not the end of the world, but we don't want to cause a problem. Okay, so I've got that all in place, and now we can just get that lined up as well. All right, so that's what it looks like on the inside there. Okay, I hope you guys are all well and being busy. Thank you for all the lovely compliments that I've received from you and the lovely comments. I just love receiving your comments and sharing little bits of your snippets of your life with me. It really makes me smile. So thank you guys. That's just wonderful. Right, we've stuck that down. So now I've used 160 GSM paper because I get that question a lot. You know I'm not a fan of copy paper because I just feel it's not robust enough for me. And if you're going to take the time to do all this crafting, you want something that's going to last. So, you know, just bear that in mind. Now we've got something that's really sturdy. With a double lined paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in these little fold lines. So where I've marked the fold lines here, I'm going to now get my scoreboard. You can, however, if you don't have a scoreboard, all is not lost, get hold of a butter knife. And what I would suggest then is just take your template like this, move it down slightly, and just mark the points here like that. All right, and then you can line it up with your ruler. Use if you don't have a bone folder, use the back of a butter knife, and then just go along those lines like that. You're going to have 4 little sections. The last one is slightly narrower. All right, so that's how we're going to do it. 1, 2, like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's not quite. So there we go. We've got our 4 little marks, and they line up perfectly with the indents that I've made on the actual can't think now template. Gosh, old age is catching up with me. All right, so now I'm going to just turn this around and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops, that moved. 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so we've got that all in play. Now what we want to do is we want to fold first of all along that first one, which I really should have we want to line it up with this edge here. So there we go, just like that. And then the same on this side as well. So don't do that, Angela. Right, so let's just do that here. There we go. Right, so now we can fold this line in. Do that there. Let's take the board away. Okay, and then we're going to just fold in a zigzag pattern the other way, and then this way again, and then this way again. All right, so when you have a look at it, you've got a little W going on there. All right, so that's what you want to do, and then you want to just take your bone folder or butter knife and just press that nicely down. Okay, and then do the same on the other side as well. So fold it inwards first of all. Line that up there. And then we're going to do it this way, and this way. All right, so let's get that down. Okay, so there we have it all folded in like that. All right, now what we want to do is, before I stick that down, I'm just going to stitch across here, and I'm going to stitch across there, just because that's what I like to do. So if you're wanting to stitch at any point, this would be the time to do that. All right, so going to join you back in a few seconds. Okay, so there you can see I've just stitched a little thin line across there like that. And I have done the same just at the back there. So that's just a decorative finish that I like to do. I'm not stitching anywhere else. Right, so what we can do now is we can glue this down. So I'm going to just take my art glitter glue, and I'm going to put glue on the last flap here like this, and I'm going to do this one at a time, and then going to pinch the corner down into there so that I can get the flap up, and then I'm going to just marry that all up there, tuck it in and press it down like that. Just take one of my clips. You can take a bull clip, anything you have, paper clip, and just holding that down like that. And now I'm able to do this side. So same thing, just put your glue on the edge here. Didn't do the best job of folding this one. I really didn't. Grip the corner and then push that in like that and hold it down. There we go. And we can just put another clip on this side here. All right, there we go. So there's everything there now. Okay, and that's lying beautifully flat. Now what you can do is put on these little things before you put the lid on. Normally, if this was lying completely flat, I would suggest, and probably better, that you do this before you seal the sides. It makes it easier, especially if you're going to use an eyelet like this kind of finish there. It's easier to get in once this is open, but because this is concertinaed and I'm going to use a brad, it doesn't really matter. All right, so what I've got is I've got two little brads. So these are the little small ones. You can use the bigger ones. I got these from Amazon. Mini brads, they're called, metal little brads with like a split pin there. But of course I have used bigger ones before. If I just take my pink lot here, you know, it would work easy just as well if I used a bigger one. So you can see the difference between the two, but it would do the same job. All right, so I prefer the mini ones for this, but I use bigger ones for this one. So I get them from Amazon, and you'll find the link for my Amazon toolkits, the favorite tools, in the description box below this video. All right, so anything you want to know about what I use, it's all there, including these. All right, so this is the bottom of our pouch. It's lovely and lined and everything's looking gorgeous, so I'm happy with that. Now what we want to do is just find the central point. I'm going to just use my board to do that. So This is the center line here. And what I wanted to do is work out exactly how far down I need to do that. Now, that's going to depend on the lid and how far you want to bend that down. So if I just mock it up here quickly, it depends on your page and how far high or low you want it. For me, if I take a page here, so this is the size of my page, you know, or your back cover, of course. If I had it on a page like that, I would probably want it to come down to about that point. So for me, that is a good place to have it. I'm quite happy with that. All right, so let's just make sure that I have that central again. Right, so that's where we want it over there. Now what I'm going to do is I take my little punch board. So let's just take that quickly. I've just got a piece of wrapping that was foam that I use for my making little holes and binding and everything. It's just a piece of rubbish. I just want to find the middle place here. So I just do that by guesstimating where to push that in. All right, so now I can just do that on my little board there, and then the same with the other one as well. I do put it on here because it's got a grid either way, and I'm able to see exactly where the mark is there, and this way with the dots that way. So this is the way to go. But of course, however you need to, if you need to measure it with a ruler, then do that. Right, so I've got my little holes going through there. Now we just need to make the little holes going through here. So get a pencil again, line it up however you best would do that. You can use a ruler to measure the halfway mark. I just do this, and I know that that's the halfway mark. This is where I pretty much want it. And luckily it's not a hard and fast rule. I'm just putting a little pencil mark through the hole that I've made, and so I can see that that's where it needs to be. And then take your little, whatever you use to make your holes. This is just so it's not going to stab my fingers, like that. Then we can get our little brad, put it through our little disc. These discs have been reinforced with old card, so you know, all that cereal card and stuff you can use. And I'll just cut out a piece from the scrap here. So I've put the brad through here and right through the hole like that, and now with a split pin there, you're just going to open that up. All right, so, and there you have it there. Now, as always, I don't like to leave that like that, so I get my old trusty favorite out, masking tape, just to cover that nothing gets caught on there. If you do this, you could just use a scrap piece of paper and stick that down as well. All right, so that's just going to cover that like that, and now nothing's going to catch on there. All right, so that's the reason, and nobody can see it anyway. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the disc onto the top here so that I don't see the masking tape come through. So I'm going to do that now. Right, so just lining up my the lid, the flap at the top here, and I know from doing this before that you don't want it too far from the edge. So that's sort of the central place here. I'm lining it up with this one. All right, you can always take your ruler and do it like that. Take move that slightly higher, I think. Yeah, so you've got about 1/4 of an inch from the edge there. Take your pencil and just draw the little hole over there. Right, and again, take the little pokey tool like that. Now you can go and put this in as we did before. Right. All right, so there we go, straight through there. And this is easier to see, so you just split these open. I like to just take my bone folder. It's got so many uses, probably the most useful tool I have. And then again, I'm going to just put this over so that it doesn't damage the paper that's going to go over the top of this. All right, so there we have that all done as well. So happy with that. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lining onto the back of this paper. So here we have it. It's the exact cutout of the one I did for the lid. So again, I'm going to just put some glue, and I'm not going to go too close to the edge here again because I will be stitching, but this does need glue for the rest of it. So put plenty of that on. Right. Okay, so now we just want to line this up. So let's start with matching those corners there and the edge over here, and again these corners over here. So hopefully that's a good match, hopefully. All right, so we just push that down like that. I do love this antique looking lid. It looks great. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my ink, and you can either it's sort of giving it a little border because I haven't got it quite right there, gone a bit too low, but it's given it like a little piped edge. That's what I'm telling myself, but of course you can trim yours off if you don't like it. Right, so I'm quite happy with that. That's pretty, and it's also now nice and robust. So all that we need to do now is get that either, if you don't have a scoreboard, grab the lid over here, and on the underside you can then just mark those lines. I am going to mark the first one, so I just like to get that lined up. Move it down just a little bit, and I am going to just mark these lines at the top here. Alright, so I know I've got 6 of them, and that's what need. Look how beautiful that looks like real old canvas. Gorgeous, love it. Okay, so now I'm going to just take my scoreboard again, and again you can just match up the lines and use a ruler and a butter knife. All right, so again I'm just lining this up here. I know it's every second one of these, so I'm just being careful with the point. Don't put too much pressure on the point of this. If you're not used to doing this, you can make a hole in your paper, I've learned. All right, so got that one there. Okay, so just give that a good press, and hopefully you can see I've got the 6 lines there now. All right, so that's awesome. And again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, before I bend that in place, I'm going to just give this a stitch around the edge here quickly, just to finish it off. It's not a necessity, guys, it definitely isn't, but I'll be back here. Okay, so you can see I've stitched around the edges over there like that. Okay, and then what I've done is I have just put some double-sided tape. I shouldn't have put it on that side, but that will be fine to stick to the page anyway. Put it on the inside of your lid, and that's the bit that's going to turn down, and then I've put a row at the very top here, so this will end up sticking at the below that one, and that will be at the bottom and that one will be at the top, something like that. All right, so but before we do that, I just want to show you how I sort the lid out. So we've got our 6 score lines there, and I just start with the top like that and line it up there, and I'm just going to edge my lid a little bit forward. I'm getting it onto the score lines like this, and I keep edging it forward like that. All right, so again, just edge it forward over, so you're causing it to bend over like this. All right, and we will do it with our hands again once we are completed with this. So all right, so that's all you need to do there. You can see it's already taking a shape of its own, and then you can just bend it more with your fingers as need be. All right, so the more you want it to bend over, the more it will, and the score lines just give it that guide to do that. So and there we can see you've got a really good bend already. Okay, so here's the last one. Okay, so there we've got something that's really going to stand up really well. It looks so real, so I'm loving that. Okay, so what we need to do now is stick this onto the base. So we've got our, you don't have to use double-sided tape, you can use glue, that also works just as well, but I have used tape in this instance, so hopefully I can get the piece off. Yeah, so it's playing ball today, which sometimes it doesn't with tape. All right, so just take off that. And now you've got to be quite precise. So I'm going to line it up on my board here. Just move that open for a bit, because with double-sided tape, once it's down, it's down. And if you're not feeling confident, use glue instead. So I'm just matching it there on that side. So it's an inch up from the base I'm choosing to go with this, and the same on that side. All right, so press it down, and that looks pretty good. And that tape there that I put in error is fine, no harm done, because when I stick it down to my page, I'll just use that side, so that'll be perfect. Now you don't have to stick this to a page. Of course, you could fill it with beautiful ephemera and gift it to somebody in the post. So that would be lovely. It doesn't have to go into a journal. There are lots of uses for this, of course. All right, so we've got that all sorted. This now is going to line up like that. And we've got our little fold lines in place there. All right, so now all we need to do is get out some thread, and you can use absolutely anything for this. This is linen thread. Okay, and I'm just going to take a piece like that, tie it around the top one, and make a little tie in between it like that, then gather those two together, and I'm sure you all know how to do this. I tie mine together, you don't have to, this is just personal choice, just so that they stay together, and I'll trim off the ends. So now I'm able to get that underneath there and wind it around like that. Okay, so there we go, there's that. So what I just did then was I've taken a little piece of vintage fabric. I've just stuck on my sentiments, which I've put onto a little bit of backing and stitched around it, because I wanted just to add that over there like that. So that's what I've done here. So I'm going to stick that down quickly. Probably best to use my fabric tack. So I'll do that. So just push that down over the label bit, and then I can stick that over there like that. All right, and then I'm going to get one of my little butterflies. So I'm just looking in here quickly. I did put one aside, but here it is. I've just got a little butterfly that picks up some of these colors beautifully, and I'm just thinking about where I want to place that. Okay, so I'm going to just do that, and I'm going to just put the little butterfly there, because you know my projects wouldn't be complete if I didn't stick a butterfly on it. All right, so there we go. That's what we have for today. I hope that you've enjoyed that, and I hope you give it a go. As I said, this would look beautiful on a journal or back cover, if that was your back cover. That would look gorgeous. You could put all your bits in there, but of course, because it's covered on both sides, you could fill it with beautiful things and send it off as a happy mail or a gift, or just something to brighten somebody's day, and they can either choose to put it in their journal or use the bits as they choose. So guys, thank you so much as always. I love spending time with you today. Thank you guys for your wonderful comments and support. You are all just amazing. Now, I say it all the time, but I really mean it. Go and have some crafting time for yourself now, and I'm going to see you in the very next video. So have a good day. Bye-bye.